Here we are in the finals of the Aureil Stormgate Invitational Tournament 3rd edition qualifiers. And both of these players have already qualified for the 3rd edition. They are just playing for a better seed now. And we see here, strangely, in the Blue Celestial, playing the off faction is Aftermath's Albino. And his opponent, also playing the off faction, the Red Vanguard, is Haya. And both of them already questioning what it is that they have got themselves into. This is a bragging right challenge. Whoever wins this series gets to say to the other one, not only am I better than you, but I beat you with your own faction at your own game, buddy. And that bragging rights will last forever. Even after the Aureil Stormgate has entered the 17th edition, people will still be talking about the time these two went off faction against each other. Yes, indeed. May the best Australian win between these two Canadian powerhouses. They're both playing Australian style, I guess. This is where everything goes backwards. And, well, it looks like Haya has decided, I know what the OP units are for the Vanguard, and that is Scouts. And we're just going to use... Oh, no! Oh, wow, okay, so you can squeeze out there. I thought that was going to be the smartest move ever from Albino. And he probably thought so too. But no, those sneaky little puppies can squeeze out from the narrowest little corner there. And here they are working away on a collection array. And the scouts decide, well, that Sarvin's watch is probably done by now, right? Let's go back to where those power banks were. Power banks are the tastiest of buildings for the scouts. Because you might not know this, but scouts are cybernetic. They kind of look like pups, but they're going to change their look a little bit later on. But their cyborg elements need power, and that's why they really like to chew on power banks. It's part of the lore that I just made up. More pups. What's this? A sentry post going down with 2 bobs. One of them's probably going to get inside there and turn that into a repair-o-matic. Hedgehog has come to join, and we're starting to get a pretty, scary-looking pressure force here. There are 3 Argents out, but this poor Argent, like, why did you build the power bank there? I do like to be close to the power, but I don't want to be static D, and that's what this poor Argent is right now. He's static D. The hedgehogs and dogs run back to the repair-o-matic so they can get back up to full health. Probably time for another hedgehog to make it across the map. And they jump on top of the Argents again. They're very nice, and they say, I see that some of your Argents are trapped back there. Why don't I come and attack within range of them so that all of your units can do DPS to mine? That's good playing. It's just good style. Looks like most of the scouts got cleaned up, and oh no, the poor power bank has to be stealth killed. And yeah, hedgehog. Oh, one. He had 2 ranks of veterancy and went down. That hedgehog. That's poor. There's 2 really low Argents in the back, and these hedgehogs want to go up and scoot up there and snipe them. But Kree leading the way. They're kind of good tanks. And now we see the hedgehogs move forward and try and snipe the low ones. They snipe a low Kree, and there we go, snipe another low Argent, but the repair-o-matic's down, and that was probably the goal of Albino with that push out. And he pulls back to his strike node, losing another Argent, unfortunately, but getting a scout for his efforts. And the Kree rolling out, trying to take out another sentry post before it goes down, and indeed they do. One Kree running away to safety and healing. More sentry posts trying to go down this Argent. Is that... Okay, he's at full health. It looked like he might have been at 1 hit point, but he's at full health there. He's just really low on his energy is what we're seeing there. And the Bobs get taken out. So that means no more Repair-O-Matic, but these units of Albino have to retreat. And he's putting more power banks down. I don't know if he learned his lesson. Hopefully there's a way to get around that power bank there. Another Kree gets taken out. But the Hedgehogs have to retreat back, and there is no Repair-O-Matic back there anymore. So if they want to heal, they either need to pull more Bobs or go get a healing camp, which they don't have yet. Then they're going for the speed camp, which might just be for the sake of creeping. That supply, the habitat goes down. Some low Hedgehogs here. And what's this Kree out here doing? Trying to find the base, maybe? Is that another Kree? It's not clear that Albino has had a chance to find the base yet. Hedgehogs go creep in. So we've entered the end of the sort of violent phase that started this game. Haya is choosing to back off with his Hedgehogs and try and do a little map control. Meanwhile, Kree on the map using Evolution Catalysts to take control of these camps, getting access to Therium and Luminite. Now we saw them passing in the night as the Kree tries to come and steal the Luminite camp, and the Hedgehog tries to steal the Therium camp. And sure enough, they're going to do that. Hedgehogs still creeping here on the health camp, and it looks like another Evolution Catalyst here. And Albino's moving out with Cabals, Kree Cabal, and we know how that song goes. So this could go really well. He might have too many Argents. That song is not about Argents, although actually there are Argents in that song. If you pay very close attention. I won't spoil it for you, so go listen to the song. It's on Game Friends YouTube. And wow, the Cabal's going for the Gravity Flux, managing to get a couple of Hedgehogs. A lot of other Hedgehogs are getting hit with the Debilitate. This one might get picked off, yeah. And that's just some good damage done. We now see a Purify with the cool new team colors on it, I might add, that are going to charge up the Cabals again, meaning they're going to have more available for more Debilitates, more Gravity Flux as we see going down. And that should just keep these Hedgehogs at bay for a bit. The Bobs, what are the Bobs doing? Here's some healing hugs. That's what they need to be doing. And this force is starting to get whittled down just a little bit, but we do see some Kree here trying to get some damage done. Oh no, unfortunately all these Argents and Cabal, there's nothing they can do except shoot. And with the Bobs here healing, there's just nothing they can do. But Kree's here. Up against the healing hug Bobs are so invincible that if these were imps, they'd all be gone by now. And the Kree, are they going to get away? Or are they just trying to, you know, these ones are going to be invincible too, you know. So all the Kree trying to get some DPS on the Hedgehogs before they go out. A couple of them going down, but the rest of them rolling away. Roll out. Wow, it's a matrix of power banks. And a ton of Cabals coming to join the Kree. Kree Cabal, that was the answer. We noticed no new Argents coming, though. Might be all Kree Cabal here from now on. And it looks like it's still Hedgehogs for Haya. So Albino with one Kree, that almost a scout Kree ahead of the the bunch, sorry. And I'm not sure if either of these players is ready to try and make any finishing blows. Haya is trying to take advantage of his speedy Hedgehogs to try and harass the Kree. And why the Kree are out on the map is not immediately clear. Maybe they should lure these hedgehogs away. A couple hedgehogs taking this map or this camp. Well, the Kree here. What is this? Arc ship or arc station and morph core, as we're getting more arrays going down, and we have a sensor drone here now scouting that out. So I do think that Albino's trying to go for that more. Well, let's see if I can get my economy going up, and once I have a killer economy, I'll just roll you over. His Krees are unfortunately sacrificing themselves for almost nothing here. But I do think the hedgehogs are a good answer to this strategy from Albino, who's going for the extra arrays. If these hedgehogs, and they have scouted this array at least, if they decide to just go kill those arrays, that could be the end right now. They could force an engagement, and while they're at it, deal some economic damage. I think we saw this in a couple other Celestial versus Vanguards today, where if the Vanguard is going to stay on so few bases against so many bases for the Celestial, it's going to be very hard. Look at how many debilitates go down. I think almost every hedgehog there has been caught in a debilitate. Maybe only those 3 at the back have not. And remember, that's going to be a slow effect. So they slow their attack speed as well as their movement speed. And that makes it so that the Kree can get on top of them. And now we see some gravity fluxes going down as well. Gravity flux, of course, lifting the hedgehogs up so they cannot move or attack. And as long as your units can hit the air, then they can be hit. So the Cabal were able to focus a few of them down. And likewise, Cabal can lower air units and let's say the Kree hit them. More Arges and some Sabers. This is starting to look fairly good for Albino. Now, is he going to try and go up the front, or is he going to knock down these trees with the Sabers and go in the back? We'll see. Well, he's just camped out for now. And it's still hedgehogs. So Haya is just staying on hedgehogs. I think he probably needed to add maybe a Vulcan or 2 in. Not being a Vanguard player, I'm not sure what the right answer is here, but that's what I've seen other Vanguards do. Boom. More debilitates. We heard a bunch of them going down. A scan of the high ground to see what kind of defenses we need. We're also letting the Sabers get some shots off. So many gravity fluxes, nullifying almost half of this army. This is just mass Cabal almost, which I have to say I really love. I'm a fan of that. Especially if they're going to use their Mind Shackle. I don't think we saw any there, but that is GG from Haya in game number 1. And a win for Albino. Here we are in game number 2 of this faction swapped final of the qualifiers here in the Aureil Stormgate Invitational. We've got here representing the Vanguard faction here. His off faction is Haya in the blue. And the red player, where's his arc ship? There it is. Playing Celestial. The new up-and-coming Celestial player is Aftermath's Albino himself. And we're playing this one out on Broken Crown, which is probably the smallest map in the pool. It's also my favorite map in the pool. And we'll see what that means for these two. So far, Haya is going for a Lancer opening. Interesting. Where's that Lancer rallied? Okay, there it is, just to the speed cap. His scout is scouting. That's what scouts are for. And what did he scout so far? He didn't scout anything. So it looks like Albino sent his Morph Core over here to get that quicker second array out. And now, oh, going for a Star Forge. I didn't even notice he's got a creation chamber at home. So this looks like it's probably going to be a vector opening. Do we have, yeah, we do have our Ethereum mining. So vectors out of Albino. He's fairly confident with his build orders, it looks like. And Haya going with Lancer opening for creeping. And Lancers can also kind of be good as a harass for Celestial in the early game, because they're also pretty good at taking out power banks and such. But I'm not sure if there's still a Lancer kind of timing like you would do against a Infernal opponent when you're playing against Celestial. Now remember, these two are both on their off faction, so they were saying in the pre-game discussion that they have no builds. So they're in their off faction, they have no builds. That means they're pretty much just winging a lot of this, meaning a lot of their builds might be what they think is the build that they face, or maybe the builds that they have kind of observed when they're watching replays and such. Of course, both of these players are certainly good enough and know the meta well enough that they should be able to play a meta build fairly easily. Maybe just being hooked up a little bit on some of the build. It might be a little bit slowed down by not knowing exactly the perfect timings. But we're up to 3 vectors here for Albino. And there's his Ascension Matrix. It does have the recall on the way. And there's a little bit of a scrap going on here. The vectors, of course, being the speedy harass unit, should be able to kite and harass these units all the way home if they wanted, but no, they turn and say, let me finish my creeping. And at the moment, we can almost see it. The vectors move a little bit slower until they're done with that recall research. And oh, that one looks like it goes a little slow. Like it might be maybe a minute, maybe even a little longer than that for that research. Wow, Lancers find the Starforge out here and try and take it out, but the vectors come to defend, and they're going to pull, yeah, good micro, try and focus fire down the low Lancers, managing to get a low skull. Huge delta jump, almost picked off the Hedgehog, and forcing Haya to go home. So buzz off, buddy. And you see the glowing on those vectors, that's them with their debuff, if I remember correctly there. The glowing is over. So after they do their delta jump, they get a debuff. And after they have the recall finished, which still hasn't finished, they can also recall when they're in that state. And there goes another dog, but these vectors are a little out of position. They're going to have to delta jump to the low ground, and indeed they do. And one of them eats a cabbage. And wow, recalling to the high ground. Huge micro from Albino. Good strategy. And again, once he gets low, he can just delta jump away into the speed camp and goes and captures the camp. So I wasn't really seeing there, but I think he got a few bob kills as a result of that. And that's what these vectors are for. And Haya trying to move his units out to be a little more aggressive, but these units, yeah, turning to fight. One Hedgehog getting picked off. And once again, Albino saying, hey, this is free for me to just move in and do some damage. Looks like he got another Hedgehog there. I must say that Albino is putting on a little bit of a showcase here. I feel like his Celestial knowledge seems to just be a little bit better than Haya's. Or maybe Celestials are OP. I don't know. I don't know this matchup. You guys help me out here. Is he got the skills, or is he just abusing this faction? Now he's gonna go for this Starforge again, and I like it, but these buildings are pretty tanky, and the vectors are speedy enough to get back to chase it away. So this Starforge keeps healing up, so you know that damage is a little bit wasted. Now the vectors chasing these units all the way back, having to kill a few Lancers, the slowest units. And now they're super brave, wanting to get on top of some of these units, but there are so many Hedgehogs here now. That's just enough that they can't really just stay and do sustained damage for long. Pick off a few units, but I do think at least one vector got killed there. But more units were lost for Haya. And we see Haya on higher supply. That's a weird thing for me to see here. I mean, there's not a lot of vectors here, but look at them blinking right into the main base. Going for the habitat. They do get the habitat. That does actually supply block Haya. And then he's going to go for another one and recalls all the way out on top of some hedgehogs. Wow. Really nice control and damage for Albino here. Sniping so many units. And somehow Haya still being close in supply, but I think a lot of that is workers. That maybe not being reflected in Albino's supply. Now, interestingly, the hedgehog's getting a bit of an advantage. And with a few dogs, we're able to pick off a couple vectors. And I think this is true of the vector play, that it does have like sort of a limited time. After a while, you need to transition out of it as the army for your Vanguard opponent starts to get large enough. It can sort of push the vectors back and start really doing damage on them instead of being able to micro them away and blink them away. You now are just taking too much DPS that some are going to start dying. Meaning you need an answer after your vectors. And if you have Starforges out already, a good common move is to go for Sabers next. Kree trying to get right on top of Bobs. And remember, Bobs are invincible, so I don't know why people keep going for that. But, yep, no Bobs dying here today. Kree are going to go down, though. And they do have that exploding ability, so they might get some with their explosion. But even their explosions don't seem to do so much. So, vectors here, still doing damage. But like I said, their window is starting to be closed, as each time he jumps in now, he's losing a vector or two. Another one. Well, actually, that was a cabbage going down there. Nice micro to eat the cabbage on the way by. And again, saying, I'm going to just jump in on you. Go for things like your solar habitats. Now, solar habitats are even better targets, because not only do you get the supply, but it's a bonus supply, and you take out the solar a bit there, that bonus build time that you get. More vectors up in the base here. I hope that Albino has something he's building behind this, because he is sacrificing a lot of his units in this. And that finally gets cleaned up, but we are seeing like a pretty good hedgehog force here. We don't see much else. There was the machine lab here, but all these unfinished supply depots, I don't know about that. Let's pretend that's a strategy. It's if you ever get supply block, you can really quickly get unblocked because you have a depot sitting there that's almost finished. And now we see these hedgehogs are able to clear out a lot of these bases. But what do we have here? It's just a big ball of Kree. I don't know if that's the answer here. But there is a big ball of Kree, and now there are hedgehogs just picking off arrays. And I think, yeah, Haya here is going to be able to say, alright, I can just kill all your arrays and then maybe do the base race. Although triple Sovereign's Watch is kind of brutalizing, and a lot of hedgehogs and dogs went down there. But wow, just devastation back home. There's even a saber here. I like that. One saber. And here we go out the back door. Saber like clearing the way. Blasting open the garage door on the way out. And poor Saber gets shot down. Perhaps Albino did not know it has a skill called Mass Accelerator that it could use to zip out of there if it wanted to. All these Kree coming home. So I feel like these players just traded eco damage, because I imagine it was mostly Bobs that went down to the Kree. And then we saw a bunch of arrays go down to the hedgehog. Oh no! This is not looking good for Haya. All of his units get caught in an awkward surround. More hedgehogs getting caught over here. Oh, gee. They turn and try and fight, but fully surrounded. This is the whole army. I think that is... Yeah, that's going to be GG out of Haya. Here we are in game number 3. Still with their faction swap, but I'm starting to get used to it. In the blue celestial is Aftermath's Albino. His opponent, trying to prove the strength of the Vanguard faction, is Haya. And we're playing here on Titan's Causeway, another kind of short, smallish map. When I first started playing this map, I really kind of did not like it. There's way too many chokes and such on it. It's hard expansion pattern, especially for Infernal. But as I played it more and more, it grew on me. And that's because I learned that you can just knock down trees and then it's not so bad. It's 2-0, Aureil. Oh my goodness. How do I not even know what's going on in my own tournament? Alright, then I guess it's 2-0 for Albino, which means he could win it all right now. He could prove to us all that Celestial is indeed OP. And yeah, so let's see what we're going to get out of these two. Is Haya going to be able to make it a game? Or a series, I should say. Or is he going to fold here to the Celestial? So it's Lancers and Bobs. Okay, I was wondering what the tech was, but I was wondering why we were still on Rack. I thought he might have been going faster into the Hedgehog tech, but actually he's staying on Lancer here. And Bob, okay, so these are Bob's going to build a command post. And we've got the healing camp out, so now what? We're going on a creeping tour. Gonna go get some speed. And then maybe put on some pressure, or maybe not. We'll see. We're on 3 array here into 2 chamber, it looks like. Not sure the exact order there, but that's where we're at the 2-minute mark. I don't see any Argents or anything out yet. Are we? Yeah, we do have some. Okay. Our first Argents on the map. And Lancers and 2 Scouts. So we did add an extra Scout there. And one of our Scouts is going scouting, and the rest of these units are going creeping. And what do we have? A mech bay. Okay, so we're going into a mech bay now, so we're probably going to get some hedgehogs to follow up here. Of course, hedgehogs are part of the meta in this matchup. And all these units... Okay, so that dog just ran the long way around. I thought he was out scouting, but he was just thinking it was faster to go that way. And right now it's Haya who's getting the creeping advantage. Which just means an income advantage in terms of the creeps while building an army, of course. And Albino, wow, a lot of Argents out fairly quickly there. Is it just out of these 2 chambers? I think so. So I must have missed a couple rounds of Argents popping out. And immediately a Sovereign's Watch to defend against this harass. And Haya, oh, he's gonna encounter these Argents, and I guess decides I don't really want to fight them yet. There are 6 Argents, which I don't know if who wins that fight. I think it might be kind of even. And a Hedgehog shows up, and now they're gonna go for it. They're gonna try and use a little bit of a body block on there, and that's enough to at least get that 1 Argent. Yeah, they get the 1 weak Argent and run away, but those are a couple Scouts that went down. So I don't know if that's a good trade. I don't think so. What's up with that Hedgehog siege there? I must have missed something. Couple more creation chambers. That's going to speed up the production of these Argents, and if this turns into a sort of aggressive Argent push, we don't... Oops, sorry for the bug there. We don't see the upgrades yet from the Guardian Nexus. what is it? The photocapacitors. Speedy little Argents. Look at them run. They're running so fast. There's little wind streaks behind them. That's how you know they're fast. Oh, they slowed down. Ooh, more speed. I love the little speedy effects. So what are these Argents doing? Just, I don't know, maybe looking around for a scout or something. They seem to be zoning back and forth. And we do have a little force here. The Lancers are slow. They're running in behind them. What are these ones doing? Why are so many units always going the wrong way around? I don't like that. A couple of Cabals bravely at the front line. I don't like that. Get them out of there. Yeah. Get them out of there. Okay. But using their debilitates, and oh, these units are going to get caught out of position, and unfortunately they're going to get sniped down. But this is going to give time for those other units to circle around and get on top. One Cabal goes down. Don't want to see that. They're those slightly more expensive units that you're investing your tech into. You want to keep them alive. And unfortunately, they've been frontlining for now. And yeah, this is not... This didn't look like the engage that Albino wanted to take. Especially since he's basically just helping Haya creep that camp for him. And now Haya is going to be able... Well, he's not going to do it. I don't know why you wouldn't just take out this array. This is a free array here. There we go. So this array is going to get taken out. We're going to see these units come in. Why are the Cabals leading? I don't know. They're just so eager to be on the front line. And the array... Oh, the array goes down. But then a ton of gravity fluxes. And... Oh god, click bug. Don't want that. Unfortunately, in early access, there are still some bugs in the game. And sometimes you get punished by them. Luckily, there's not too many that are... Oh, geez. Oh, geez. So now we're talking like that. Of course, this is Albino. He is very good for the balance winding. Or maybe what I should say is he has a very good understanding of how Vanguard fits into the balance. I'm trying to be neutral with my phrasing. He's got a deep experience of Vanguard and all of the challenges they face. In fact, his deep experience is so deep that he even understands the Celestial faction fairly well, because he's so far won 2 games with it. One thing about playing a faction is you often know where its weaknesses are, so you can sometimes play against it fairly well. It's also a good way to learn your faction is to play against it. I don't know if this really went the way that Albino wanted to start out there. He is getting a lot of his spells off, but I don't know if he's got enough DPS. And here he is finally picking off some of these units. Now again, these hedgehogs, they want to be speedier and be able to retreat and kite, but the debilitates are just keeping them down, also again slowing down their attack speed, which means less DPS. So even though that looked like kind of an awkward engage, at least to me, for Albino, he seems to have come out ahead. And it may be testament to just the power of these Cabals, sorry. Because again, not only are they slowing the units down, but they are slowing down their attack speed, and they are able to, completely neutralize the unit with their lift, their gravity flux. But Hayab managing to move forward, and now Hayab with some nano forms on his hedgehogs. This could actually be part of the advantage that he needed in the earlier games, is to have some extra tech, not just the hedgehogs, but something else like the med picks to kind of keep them alive. Unfortunately, a few of them going down. A nice purify here to keep all of these units in power. That not only means more DPS from the Argents, but also more gravity fluxes, more debilitates out of the Cabals. We're almost running low on Argents here. Again, Argents part of the DPS of this force. But I guess we're also running low on DPS from Haya's force. He's just got hedgehogs here. Half of them are lifted in the air. And medtechs kind of tickle. They're not bad, but they tickle. And now there's a saber coming in from the back. All the medtechs are lifted up. So they've all been neutralized. And wow, almost all the Argents are gone, but it's Kree that are showing up now. And Kree certainly are a good augment to the Cabal. This has been the slowest slow push I've ever seen, as this army just slowly pushes the hedgehogs back. We now see them retreating back to the speed camp just to, I think, get some time to recover energy and maybe heal up a little bit. Although I say heal up, but there is no healing camp. 2 arc ships. What? Did I miss something? Where's the other arc ship? There's got to be an arc ship out here somewhere. Did an arc ship go down? I didn't see an arc ship go down. Oh, no, there's an arc. So this is just double. I've told you before, I love the bonus arc ships for prism production. So I don't know why we're getting 2 of them, but maybe it's prism time. Let's get prisms out, as many as we can. Or maybe one of these is going to become a forward arc ship that's going to be healing and things like that. There's lots of reasons to have extra arc ships. Hedgehogs finding this base here, going for the array right away. And yeah, no reaction here from Albino. No Sovereign's Watch, and now that the array's gone, there's no option for Sovereign's Watch. And that might be because Albino's just up here trying to destroy this base too. The Cabals are just using their DPS array, their auto attack. You kind of rarely see that. They often are not the main ones doing the damage. Hedgehogs here move to try and take out this base too, but a lot of gravity fluxes, and look at all those Sovereign's Watches. That's enough for Haya to say GG. Congratulations to Albino for winning the finals.